Okay, so let's take a look at what you're going to be doing with the Maze Runner assignment in Scratch. So we have this video, so this is good if you watch the video, and then this is your little Dropbox where you'll go and actually turn your assignment in. And then let's talk about some of these other resources, and how, we'll talk about how to get this into Scratch and how to turn in your assignment, all that kind of good stuff. So this book, it's actually chapter 3 in a book that's provided for free. So thank you, Google and MIT, I guess. But we have the book chapter, which is a PDF, and it's the full chapter. I'll show you in a sec. And then all these videos go along with it. Okay, so you can look at the print, PDF with and there's all sorts of screenshots and code shots and all that to help you along the way. And the same thing with these videos. Okay, so you'll notice as you get into the chapter and as you take a look at these videos. In fact, if you look right here, 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 3 of 3, and then we've got 3 more videos. So the way it's set up is there's a basic assignment that goes through the chapter and it has you do sort of version 1 of the game, and that's what you're required to turn in. Okay, so the extra stuff that they provide, like adding a second player, adding traps, adding cheat codes, those pieces, that's just for you. So that's just fun. If you would like to do that, go for it. It's not required. Okay, so if you turn it in and you've done all these, great, good for you. And you'll see once you start messing around with it, it's kind of fun to do some of the little extra things. And you may have some other things too, but for what you're going to turn in is just the basic piece of the assignment. Okay, so through the main part of the chapter towards the end, and you'll see that. So, like for example, this PDF. Let's see. I think what are we right here? So a little maze runner. This is what your game will sort of look like. So you have a sprite that's going to run through. For this one, it's just the cat. You're going to run through the maze and eventually get to the apple. You touch the apple, and you have a little winning thing. Okay, so and then this maze piece, you'll see is the key thing that we need to import, and I'll show you that in Scratch in just a second. Okay, so coming back over here, I have a little printed instruction piece. This is just a Word file that's going to do exactly what I'm going to show you right now. This little SB2 file, .sb2, the skeleton file, that's what we're going to import. And then you can also have just the sprite, any kind of sprite. Like if you download one from the internet or whatever, it could have this .sprite2 logo. So this is from the second version of Scratch. It's actually technically on the third right now, but these are great, so that works fine. All right, so let's take a look at, oh, and just to download these, here's a little instruction piece there. That's that Word file. But to download these, you just, open this up and then just download this and save this to your computer. And then we're going to use that in just a second. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to go ahead and go over to Scratch here, click on this tab. And I'm in a random little, I don't know, I guess this is just a little messing around from the first little learning assignment where we've got the little letters, making them do different things. Okay, so I have something in here. Now, when you import, when we're going to load from computer, I'm going to come over here to File. So I've downloaded this skeleton file. I actually downloaded the maze.sprite one as well, but which you don't actually need. You really just need this one. I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to say File, and then use this option, Load from your computer. Now, before you do that, it's very important that you get rid of what you're doing here and start something new because it will replace things. So what you want to do is go to File and just go ahead and click on New. Create a new project. Boom, here we go. Blank slate. Of course, it just defaults with this. Sprite to start. Okay, so now I'm going to go to File and I'm going to say Load from my computer. And it's going to go to the folder where I've saved it. It could be in your downloads or wherever. You may have to navigate to get to it. Mine knows that I want to pull it from here, so it's just going to grab it for me. And here we go. So maze-skeleton.sb2. So if I click on that file and just say open, it'll give me a little warning, replace contents of the current project, which is sure. I'm going to say okay, and then boom, here we go. And it's loaded in the sprites. It's got my little backdrop set, and you are good to get started. All right, so that's the way that you're going to load that in. And if the little other little piece, like for example, if you wanted to use a sprite, this one was the sprite 2. If you want to use something like that, or you just want to import the maze, or you have something you download from the internet that's a sprite, you can just simply go over here. So this, before we use file, load from your computer, that was for the full project. If I wanted to just go ahead and, oh, I'm off the screen a little bit. If I wanted to just go ahead and load in another sprite, then we'll click on this other button. So down here in the Sprite window, click on this, and the option to do that is right here, Upload Sprite. So I can click on that, and I'm in that same folder I was a second ago where I downloaded this one. So Maze, that's Sprite 2. If I click on that and say open, it just literally just puts another one right there. Now I don't need it because I have this one, but I just wanted to show you that. Now, if you want to mix this up and not use an apple or cat, that's totally fine. Just make sure that you pay attention to the instructions, shrink things down, all that kind of good stuff. So, um, for example, when you're on the cat, if I'm on this little cat right here, notice how small it is. If you don't shrink it down enough, a little piece of the sprite might be touching a wall, and when you try and move, it's not moving at all. That's a very common mistake. This is just too big. So be very careful of that. It has to be pretty small. Okay, so let's talk about how you're going to turn in the assignment when you're all done. Okay, first thing, make sure you come up here and you're going to name this. So type something in. I don't know. Scale Jeff, whatever it might be. So skeleton, whatever, have your name on it, anything you want. I'm just throwing that in there. Sorry, not very creative right now. And then you should have this button active. Okay, so it should be orange. You should be able to click it. If not, you have to verify your email address. We talked about that before, but verify your email address, and then afterwards this will be activated. You must share the assignment in order for me to see it. Otherwise, I can't grade it. So make sure you click share. What happens is it bumps it to this screen. Great. Go back and click see inside. And when you come back in here, you'll see your code and all that kind of good stuff. The URL up here at the top, you want to click on that or click someplace and, highlight the whole thing, whatever. But you want to highlight that little baby, either hit Control C on your keyboard or I don't know, I think it's easiest. Just right click there and say copy, and it will copy this little URL for you so that later when you go back into here, you can't see it on my screen, but on your screen when you go back, this is this assignment piece right here. That's what it'll look like. Well, that's what mine looks like. Yours will have an option to turn things in for a website URL. So you would just simply click in that little URL or in that little box, and let's say there was nothing in there, right? But you click in there and you just right click and say paste, and then make sure that you click submit afterward. Just pasting it in that little box doesn't turn it in. So you click that, right click on there, say paste, then click submit. And then it will go through a little process and it'll tell you that you've turned it in. Okay, so anyway, that's basically it. So hopefully you enjoy this one. Again, you have videos to kind of fall back on too. The chapters right here, and let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, have fun building Maze Runner. Oh, wait, I lied. One thing, real quick. I forgot to tell you. The reason why this is very important to import the maze one, and you'll see this in instructions, so this will come up later. But the beauty of this is, remember with the different sprites, we looked at this before. When you click on a sprite and you go to costume, this has two, right? Just this one and this one. If you go to Apple, just the one, unless you create one. But if you click on maze, they actually created 8 different mazes. So that's beauty because it changes each time, so it's kind of nice. And you'll see this in instructions, but that's why I say import this particular sprite, because they did the work for you under costumes to give you 8 different ones. Okay, so other than that, now I'm gonna say have fun. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.